Well, welcome everybody to Tek Talk. Today, our special guest is Gina Nixon. She is the head of customer and brand experience with Thomas James Home. Welcome, Gina. How are you today?
Hi, everyone. I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for joining us. And if we haven't met, I am Jennifer Cooper. I am the functional CMO at fOCUS360. So thanks for joining us. So I had to invite Gina today because I have been a long time super fan of what she's done with the Thomas James Home brand.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
You know, I've been following it for about 3 or 4 years, right around the pandemic. And I was like, first, the brand looked awesome. 2, I saw that you guys were doing things that were innovative with a little bit of a different production build model. 3, then I see you growing across the country. And of course, you are a partner and friend of fOCUS360, always cooking up new things in the kitchen. So you are a great guest, my friend.
Thank you.
You're a fabulous, strong woman in marketing. So I just adore you. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. The team at fOCUS360 has been amazing to deal with over the last, year and a half as we've been doing I've been pushing them. They've been pushing me. It's been good.
Good. I know you got to have those partners that are going to like push you and drive you to the next best thing that you create with your marketing team. So I brought you here today, obviously, because you are innovative. You always come up with new ideas. I know you're pushing the bar. Part of what's in your title is head of customer experience. That's a big role. So as you're growing your team and growing these new projects, I really would love to know, just kind of with a personal question, what excites you about where marketing is headed in our industry? What also worries you today?
I think the exciting thing is definitely outweighs the worry. The worry is pretty easy, right? That you can't keep up with it. Things are changing every day, so fast every day. And I think in today's world, we're not just being judged and compared to other home builders. We're being compared to every experience that's out there. So I think from a fear factor, those are my 2 biggest worries. Just being able to keep up with it all and be able to deliver in a manner that you're proud of.
Yeah, you're definitely trying to keep the bar high and be a leader. Probably going to give you anxiety now because I said you're so innovative, but you just keep being innovative.
Well, you'll notice when I get nervous or stressed, I laugh. I figure it makes way better wrinkles than the other stuff.
So what do you see? Is there anything you're seeing in the industry by another builder or even maybe someone outside of the industry that is doing like a really good job? Maybe even something you saw recently at IBS that made you go,
Well, I love what TriPoint's doing with their app. I think the more simple and the more connected to your homeowners once they're contracted, you can get, the better off you are. We've been using technology for a really long time because in a way we were forced to. Thomas James Homes doesn't build anything contiguously, so we don't track build like a traditional home builder. We're a single lot replacement where we go into neighborhoods where the housing stock is really old. The desire to live there by consumers is high, and we're revamping neighborhoods, in the areas in which we build. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of moving parts. We use a lot of technology internally to manage it all. But we also have had to find ways, not only on the sales side of things, but also after the sale or contract is completed, to stay really connected and deliver on that experience.
Sure. And yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't give you the chance to do a full elevator pitch about what makes Thomas James Homes different. But do you think anything really makes you different? I guess is probably the question, right?
I think it's just we're able to deliver that new home experience in places where you don't find it. That's probably the biggest differentiator. And about a year and a half ago, we started a service side of our business where instead of building spec houses and you pick from what we're building, we'll come build for you on a home site that you own. And that's been a game changer for us. Because what we've learned about the neighborhoods, that people really want to be in where we're building, most of them don't want to leave their street. They don't want to leave their family home site, but the house that they're living in doesn't fit the way they live today. And so the service side of the solutions has really helped us, but it's also pushed us in a way that we've had to be able to deliver using technology so that, we can build trust and garner enough discovery about somebody's individual situation and then show them why it's worth waiting to have it built.
Gotcha. So what I love about your brand and what you're doing, to kind of put it into contrast, is that you are serving pretty much a little bit more of a luxury buyer based off the price
For
point
sure.
that I've seen. But so you're going in there very purposefully saying we need to create a little bit more of an upscale experience. But what I think a majority of other production home builders could look at, regardless if I have a $300,000 or $400,000 price point, something very entry level to luxurious, there's still room to create those experiences,
No question.
regardless of how luxe they are. So that kind of takes me a little bit into Reveal. This was a project that you came on and worked with fOCUS360, and it won a silver at Nationals. So congratulations on that.
Congratulations to the whole team. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we definitely were excited about that. But tell us about that, because I think everything that Reveal is and Reveal does is a mindset that regardless if you're serving customer luxe, that you could be thinking through the process.
So I will say, while we do have an average price point that is in that luxe world, our home buyers aren't much different. And for the sanity of our internal teams, we're still working with library floor plans. We're still working with design collections that have personalization within them. We are not a full-blown custom home builder. So, I think this model can work for almost anybody. And when we were really trying to, as a team internally, evaluate what our sales process was and how we were going to make improvements to that experience, and how we could pay off the value of waiting, right? Because in our markets, if you have a $3 million sitting in your pocket and you wanted to go buy something in a specific 5-mile radius, for example, most people are making those decisions around school systems or businesses or you commutes to work or whatever it is about a neighborhood that draws you in. It's typically about a 5-mile radius that you're willing to make those choices. So there's plenty of homes that are maybe only a year or two old, or maybe a design spec guy that's got, spec on the market that we're competing with. So instead of waiting to build, like, what's that payoff? What are those trade-offs? And so we had to find a way to share that. We also wanted to offer an opportunity for a homeowner to understand how choice works within defined collections, which I think every builder in the country struggles with, right? How do you say no, but, or, so we did a lot of market research around what was important to people and where they really wanted to have some personalization. And the research told us that the main areas were around countertops, cabinet colors and style, and flooring were the main things. I will say that we don't have a builder standard, right? We've got a spec level that we start at that is something probably comfortable any of us would, be happy living in. So it's not like they're making trade-offs for vinyl flooring or 4x4 tiles or things like that. And so we started at a highly curated collection level with tiers based on, choice and levels of choice and amount of choice where you could step up and dollar volume above and beyond, the what's included as a base house. And it's been really successful because we've been able to use the Reveal app to show people what things will look like. The discussion around the table originally was we need to build a spec house and use it as a model. But, we're in we have 5 divisions in some major markets where we might even need multiple to build a home, a TJH home, and use it as a model. Would probably cost us around $850,000 to $900,000. Then you tackle on the carrying costs. It just didn't make sense to me, right? And then the minute you walk out and it's finished, it's old, right? And someone's going to want it, and then they're going to get sold, and then you're right back at your starting point. So the technology was really a resource that I investigated and pushed really hard for. And when I went to fOCUS360, there were some applications that we could pull that worked for today's world. And then there were some things that I really pushed them to kind of bust a move to be able to deliver. And so over the last like 9 months, we pulled together 44 library plans with all the design collections and the choices that go into them into this app and rolled that out for less than $1 million. So when you think about what we were going to invest physically
Yeah.
building, what we
Yeah.
did with this app is incredible. And there's a version of it that works for our sales team. So they've got it live and roving in the field. They all have surfaces.
Mhm.
So they literally could be sitting in somebody's old kitchen and show them what the new one will look like.
Yeah.
And then there's a level that steps up with even more detail for our design studios, which we shrunk, and we took materials for the most part and put them behind cabinets and really tailor the experience to what the discovery our sales team has provided and where we know their mindset is on what fits their home site, what design collection they're starting from, and we
Mhm.
build a custom experience using the technology for our potential home buyers.
So it's really the first example of a almost live a live home that's turning into the design center kind of before your eyes, is the way you're using all of the designer tools that fOCUS360 has curated to some of your specific packages and finishes that you know are gonna work well for your customer market by market. I mean, that gives you flexibility. I would imagine that's
Yeah.
giving you flexibility as you're rolling it out market by market, knowing that you've got different trends in different markets as well.
And it allows us to, like this year, there'll be a V2 that rolls out that has even more features to it, right? But right now, it
Mhm.
currently houses all of our exterior elevations. And we all know fOCUS360 just nails it with that, how good those
Mhm.
look. We have the traditional 2D floor plans with all the floor plan optionality. So people can
Mhm.
say the difference, and it's got dynamic floor plan, square footage, bedroom bath counts. So as you're clicking and making choices, things are updating. It also has, some really incredible virtual stills that our salespeople use all the time to go through the features and benefits of building with Thomas James Homes with live experiences in a new home, even though it's
Yeah.
on a screen.
Yeah.
And then as we get into all the actual choices and the VR that shows the room options and the impacts they make from a loft to a bedroom and standing at a stair landing, or adding on
Mhm.
bonus rooms and what it does to, and extra garages and all those things that just, people really they lean into because they want to
Mhm.
know what all is really available. And it just is such a simple tool to
Yeah.
share that and help them build dreams. And it's impacted the way we sell. Like today, if you went on tjh.com, you won't find every home that we offer purposely, because our sales process as we were building this technology totally flipped. Our sales
Mm.
teams are trained to go in there and understand, what am I solving for you? You have this home
Sure.
site, you're looking at one of our spec homes, you're in a neighborhood, what's pushed the move? What's the qualifier? Like what am I fixing? What am I solving for you today? And
Mhm.
everybody's got something different that they're learning from. So it's this discovery that becomes very personalized, and then they go back to ground zero and understand
Mhm.
what we have that solves that for them and comes to them with
Sure.
solutions, not sale, right? Like it's all this
Yeah.
listening and asking and listening and asking and understanding how we can make an impact for that family.
I'm curious, do you have a lot of builders that are, sorry, a lot of home buyers that are coming from another market? Maybe they know they want to build in that area, and have they been able to use those tools long distance in some of your sales experiences?
Able to do things long distance, which during COVID helped us a lot too. Um, and we've also had, interestingly enough, a lot of, if you look at the migration charts that like Zonda and JBREC and everybody delivers, we've had the same kind of migration. People moving from Northern California up to Seattle, and going from one Thomas James home to another, or leaving
Mhm.
NorCal after seeing Thomas James homes in their neighborhoods and looking for them up there. We've had SoCal into Denver,
Yeah.
Arizona is always a hot spot for out of state stuff because people live there typically part time. So we've had really great success with being able
Mhm.
to use this app and share it, just like I could show you right now.
Right? I know. The magic of television and the
The
magic of
magic of
film,
sharing
and having
screens. Yeah, for
all the
sure.
visualization tools do so much more, take us so much farther. than they used to. So, I'm really championing more builders. We got to think outside the box. So love that you've had some success. Tell us a little bit about some other things. You've got this little black box on a blue box.
We do have a black box protocol. We have a black box protocol for sure. One of the things that you have to pay off when you're using technology to sell is you still need the physical, tangible touch points that build that trust along the way. We call them referral generators. And we invest in a few of them. And then we have an entire automated communication process based on construction milestones, not just through the permitting session, because we're doing that for some homeowners, but also once we pull a permit and building that home and just staying in complete contact. We don't have sales offices, so we assign a build experience specialist to each of our homeowners so that they still have that one person they can go to. And the sales team can stay concentrated on selling houses, right? The referral generators are fun. We've got some really interesting opportunities that we've identified. One of those is once you're sitting in the design studio and you're actually finalizing those choices within your collection, we put small samples in this really cool black box that has a notebook, a pen, and a tape measure, and then drawers to hold your samples. About the size of a laptop, but just a little more depth to it. And it's something you can keep with you to show your family and friends all the great choices you made and what you're going to build.
And because, as you know, as the consumer's falling in love with their home, they're starting to think about how they're going to design it and pick out their furniture for the house and all of those things. So that gives them a great
they need samples to take with them to do that.
Yeah. Do they get to keep it, or is this a piece that's going back and reusing?
Nope, they keep it. They keep it. It's theirs. We did cheat a little bit and put some tiny logos on each of the pieces so that every time they're sharing that with somebody, the Thomas James Homes resonates throughout their journey. So it's been fun to work on.
Awesome. Well, you're making your marketing dollar stretch, right? If you create a marketing piece that then entices someone else about the experience. So that's awesome. Are there any other?
The stats, right? You know the stats. Yes. A referral is, about 1/5 of the cost of generating a new lead. And so we've leaned in pretty heavy.
Yeah, we could all use more of them for sure. Make our jobs easier, right? Referral marketing, it wins. So tell me, what do you do personally or with your team to stay on top of innovation and to really keep it at the front of everything you do? Like, how do you guys prioritize, and how do you stay ahead of all the new stuff that's coming our way in the industry?
I will say we have an incredible technology team here at Thomas James Homes. When the company originally started, I would say half of us were probably home building and the other half were tech. So our chief technology officer has a team put together to really help weigh the value, the pros, the cons, the priority of how we're pushing more out to the teams and what we're identifying to spend our money on and the impact it makes. He's got an incredible system. I think one of the biggest challenges, obviously, and you've probably experienced this, is, when you implement something new, getting people not to be afraid of the change, right? There's a lot of ways you can say, it's going to be simple, it's going to save you time, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. But there's still a fear factor of people rolling up their sleeves, even in today, where we're all, basically have computers in our hands 24/7. There's some fear factor there. And so I feel really lucky to have a team led by Pete in his name. And they're just supportive. Like, I can throw ideas at them and they come back with either better ideas or ways to implement them that is softer on the team. Sure. They're really thoughtful about what they do and how much the company's actually really taking on at one time.
Well, you piqued my ears up when you said technology team, because I think that is what a lot of home builders are missing. If you think about, we're not just marketing anymore, we're more AI, we're technology driven. Everything is becoming digital. So if you do not have a technology team, you're the first that I've heard that specifically has that called out. So again, great,
it's not just IT. It's not just plugging things in and making stuff work. No, we have a real group of strategists that I feel so lucky.
That's great. And again, I encourage others to think about that, because that's how you plan, you budget, you figure out how you're going to test it, all of those things. So speaking of like, how do you get something approved? If Gina, you have an amazing idea, maybe Reveal was part of your idea. I know you have a lot of them. You have an idea. How do you, I think a lot of marketing teams are either a little apprehensive or uncertain, or they don't make change just because they know it's going to be a long battle to get something approved. So kind of how do you look bringing new ideas to your team and running them through the course to get something really championed?
Well, obviously budgets play into a lot of that. With the
Mhm.
Reveal app, I had the benefit of saying, look, we're going to build 5 or 6 homes versus the cost of one and get everything. So it's that balance, right? I am lucky enough to have a sales background in new homes. So that's where I started so many years ago. Um,
Mhm.
and to be able to present the platform in a way that can show the pros and cons of the choice was really helpful for me. Our leadership team values technology, but they also value time and money, and is it going to be acceptable enough, right? That was the big question. How do you really deliver the expectation? And,
Sure.
that's come from, the work we've done with fOCUS360. What we built with Reveal, we did on a gaming app. So it has, um, on a gaming platform. So the app itself actually has a little broader wherewithal. It's more fun to experience. It has growth potential that is crazy. My tech team helped me kind of draw in what we wanted to roll out for the first version of this, because you know, salespeople, marketing people, we just want it all the day one, right?
Yes. Yes. Let's make it happen.
Right. So it was helpful to have that in respect. And then, it was a heavy lift for the division teams to get plans in a place where they were usable and understand, it's a pencils down moment, guys. You stop messing around with some of this stuff. Let's get it priced. Let's get it going, and let's get the salespeople something to work with.
Yeah.
And so there's been that kind of cheerleading motivator. I always joke, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I joke sometimes my name is a 4-letter word around here just because I'm kind of that driver of new
Yeah.
stuff. But
Yeah.
it's all with the main company goals in mind. It's not
Mhm.
frivolous. It's not frivolous.
Sure.
It's
Sure.
purposeful.
Yeah. You have an idea and you have a passion and you're seeing it through. So, but I love what I heard in that is really coming up with the plan, outlining the ROI, whether it's because time is money, right? It really is with
Right?
our team members. So drawing out that plan, and even in my experience, is going to help, take you longer or take you farther through the process of getting it approved. So love that you're championing that. Definitely suggest people reach out to you for tips on that in terms of
And
what you
setting expectations, right?
setting
Like this stuff
expectations.
takes a long time. I think Steve Armandi and I looked at how much we actually did in that time frame and calculated rough numbers. It was over 200,000 hours of rendering to deliver what we
Mm,
did for those 44 plans. 200,000
yeah,
hours. That's like
it's a
crazy.
lot,
It's a
lots of
lot.
hands.
It's a
Well, a
lot.
lot on our side, but you don't have to see that, right? Behind the curtain, you're
Right.
just
But you have to set the expectations with the team, because they think the minute it's submitted, it should just be ready. Like
yeah.
there's that balance, there's that fine
Keep
balance.
Tech Talks relatively short. But thank you so
Mhm.
much today for your insights and do a couple of the really cool projects you're working on. Thomas James Homes, if you're not following them, are one to follow. Connect with Gina on LinkedIn, and lots of great stuff coming out of your company. Thank you so much for being open to sharing a little bit about our project with fOCUS360. And thank you for being a guest today, Gina.
Oh, you're so welcome. I appreciate it. I feel privileged. Thanks.
Until next time, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you.